Lucy, third graders. It's so great to see you again over here at Mrs. Nav's Reading Corner. I hope that you had a great weekend and that you're ready to start this week of digital learning off on the right foot. Today, we are going to continue discussing RI 26, Thinking Like the Author of Informational Text, as well as RI 37, which is using those illustrations and pictures and graphs and diagrams to help us understand a text better. We've been working with these standards for a few days, so hopefully this will be a bit of a review for you with the text that you are utilizing for today or tomorrow. So boys and girls, I have for you today an anchor chart that says get ready, because we want to make sure with whatever text we're reading that we get ready to read that text. So when we're looking at that text, we want to make sure to think about, what do I already know about that text? So for example, if I have this text here and I can see already, it's the title Memoirs of a Goldfish. And I can see right here that there's a picture of a goldfish with a sign that says help. So I'm going to think about what I already know about text. And I can see right here that this is not going to be an informational text. I know based off just from the cover that this is going to be a literature text. So if I were reading this, my brain as a reader would get ready to know that I'm going to have characters, setting, I'm going to have dialogue, there'll be some illustrations in there. So in my brain as a reader, I know already that this is going to be a literature text, and there's certain things that I have to be ready for. On the other hand, I also have to be ready to read this type of text. And this you may remember from a couple lessons ago, boys and girls, that this is an informational text. Even though the sun is wearing glasses, and the sun doesn't really wear glasses, but I know that this is an informational text because it's giving me information about the topic of the sun and how it plays a part in our universe. So I know I can get ready because there's going to be some facts and some information about this text. There's going to be something that I'm going to learn about this topic of the sun being the center of the universe. So this anchor chart that we see here, we want to make sure that we get ready for whatever text it is that we are going to read. So we want to ask ourselves, what's the genre? So meaning, is it informational or is it literature? And in those genres, we can have all different types. So in literatures, we can have all different types of literature type text as well as informational text. We want to think about the topic. What's the topic if it's informational? What am I learning about? The author. Maybe I've read a book from this author before, so I know that it's going to be literature or nonfiction. As well as maybe it's a series and the same, so therefore I know and I can get my brain ready to know what to expect. So I want you to practice that this week with the two different texts that you're going to be working with. I want you to think about that and get your brain ready for what you're going to be learning about. Because we're going to get our brains ready right now. I brought my digital device again because sometimes I don't always have a printed, but I have access to the Studies Weekly. And this Studies Weekly is very similar to what you've been working with. We've been looking at the contributions that we have from various groups of people to our time now. What do we get from them, and what is it that we can utilize from these different groups of people? We've learned about the American Indians, we've learned about the African Americans, and now this week we're going to look at the Hispanic American contribution to our culture. And with that, this is going to be, so I'm going to get my brain ready. And so if I know it's a Florida Studies Weekly, I'm going to say, is this going to be informational or is it going to be literature? If you said informational, you are right, boys and girls. It is going to be an informational text. We're going to be learning about the contributions that Hispanic Americans have provided to our American culture. So I have for you, behind my little get ready anchor chart, bear with me, is a question that you may see. But before we get into our question, I want to remind, what strategy do we need to do as readers when we're answering questions? If you said we need to relax, you get a gold star for today, boys and girls. Yes, we're going to continue practicing the RELAX strategy. We want to make sure that we do the RELAX strategy to help us answer these questions. So we're going to keep the RELAX strategy in mind as we go through, and we're going to go ahead and preview a question that you are going to see in your work this week. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to read the blue part. Why did the author include the paragraph titled government? All right, so automatically I can see in my question, it's cueing my brain into where I need to go back in the text, okay? But I'm not gonna go ahead and preview the text just yet. I wanna read through my answer choices as well. So is it A, to highlight the contributions of Judy Baca? Is it B, to highlight the contributions of Mario Molina? C, to highlight the contributions of Lauro Cavos Jr.? Or is it D, to highlight the contributions of Natalie and Stephen? Well, I haven't read the text. You may have already read the text, but let's go ahead and go back and see, because part of our RELAX strategy is to go back and reread. So I'm gonna look right here, and I know, where is it that I have to go based off the question, boys and girls? The paragraph titled government. Okay. So I also know that from my standards, this is going to be about RI 26. RI 26 is the perspective of the author. All right, so we want to think about why the author would include the title government. So I'm going to go back into this text right here, and I'm going to read government. And keep in mind, it's because of one of these reasons. So we want to get our brain ready and think about why they would have included that. Government. Hispanic Americans have made their mark on our government by serving in leadership positions since the early days of our nation's history. Representative Joseph Marion Hernandez from Florida became the first Hispanic American to serve in Congress when he took office in 1822. The number of Hispanic Americans serving in Congress has continued to rise over the years. The first Hispanic American to serve as a U.S. cabinet member was Lauro Cavos Jr. President Ronald Reagan appointed him as Secretary of Education in 1988. Lauro was born on a ranch in Texas, and his mother's family had come from Mexico. Sonia Sotomayor was the first Hispanic American to be appointed to the Supreme Court. Her family is from Puerto Rico. Okay, boys and girls, so I read about a few Hispanic Americans. But with the RELAX strategy, we want to go back and we want to reread. We want to evaluate, that's that E, every possible answer, right? So we want to make sure that we go through each one. So let's go ahead and let's reread. Why did the author include the paragraph titled government? Is it to highlight the contributions of Judy Baca? Let's go back and see if we have Judy Baca's name in here. Let's see, I'm gonna skim. I see Joseph Marion Hernandez. I see Lauro Cavos Jr. And I see Sonia Sotomayor. Not Judy Baca. So you know what I get to do? That's right. I'm going to say, nope, not A. Am I done though? Nope, because I haven't evaluated. So I want to make sure that I go through and look at B. Is it to highlight the contributions of Mario Molina? Well, let's go back. Let's see if I skim. I see Joseph. I see Cavos Jr. No Mario Molina either. So I can go ahead and do and X out that answer choice. See, I'm eliminating. I'm getting rid of those choices that are not the right one. Oh, to highlight the contributions of Lauro Cavos Jr. Well, I do remember that name, so I'm going to go back and I do see that the first Hispanic American to serve as a U.S. cabinet member, that Lauro Cavos Jr. was, and Ronald Reagan appointed him, but I'm not going to circle it yet, because why? That's right, I have to look at letter D. To highlight the contributions of Natalie and Stephen. I do not see Natalie and Stephen in there at all, so I know that one. So what's my only answer choice, boys and girls? That's right, letter C. So we are looking here about why the author wanted to include the contributions. So why in the government? Why did he title it that, the government? Well, because it's to show how the contributions of Lauro and what he did. So he was the first appointed cabinet member. So what a great thing for us and our country. So boys and girls, as you're reading this week in your informational text or your literature, make sure you get your brain ready so that you can answer questions, so that you can understand what it is you're reading, and so you can evaluate it. Remember to use your relax strategy and to take your time. I hope you have a great rest of your day, boys and girls, and I look forward to our next lesson together.